Hi everyone, we are back on this page today from Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford, and we're going to be doing this little square here on our final row of squares. But before I start, I'm just going to show you the pencils I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the Castle metallic pencils today. Now if you don't have these metallic pencils, I do have a comparison chart between these and the Brute Funa metallics if you have those, so that might be useful if you're trying to, sorry for the glare, use the same colours. But if you don't have the same ones, you can either guess or just use a regular pencil, but metallics have their own sort of slightly different technique, I guess. So I thought we would have a go. I'm just taking them out of the tin. There we go. Let's come in a bit closer than that. There we go. Now with this particular design, I am going to start with the flower centres first. I'm going to do them all the same, and I'm just going to show you, oh it's cold this morning, some of the colour mixes that we can do. I'm going to use the French grey first, which I always think is a brown. There it is. It's called French grey, but look, you can see it's quite a sort of bronzy brown, and I'm going to use that first on the edge of all the centres. So rather, I blend them in the same sort of way that I do with a regular harder pencil. So I put a more intense layer around the edge and then fade a little bit like that as I go into the middle. And I can do that with all of them. I'm going to keep them all the same just for simplicity's sake, and you know, we only have 48 colours, so we haven't got a huge choice. Gosh, this desk is so cold. My hand resting on the I should have put my wrist warmers on. It's chilly, but it's okay. I just actually closed the curtains in we've got like a lounge diner, and we don't use it as a lounge diner, we use it as a sort of just general family room, I guess you would call it, and so the one half is set up as a sitting room on the back, and the front room has our desks and computers, and we just eat in the kitchen. It's, what time is it? 10 to 10. Gosh, it's late. I thought it was earlier than that. Anyway, it's 10 to 10, and my son asked me if I could close the curtains to keep it warm, so I did. So we've closed the curtains already. So now we're on sort of goldish colour. We have a mixture of different golds. Our brightest is the Vegas yellow. It's quite a bright colour. The Melange is fairly bright. The Harvest Gold's a little bit duller. I think I used this one. I call it the Melange like blancmange, but I don't know how you're supposed to say it. And I'm going to go over the top of what I've done already, and then just extend that colour right into the centre. I don't want to leave any white paper, but hopefully you can see it's a little bit brighter and lighter in the centre. Now metallic pencils have a very different colour profile, I guess is the right phrase, to regular pencils. They don't have the sort of same brightness of colour, because they've got a sort of graphite-y thing going on to make them shine. Can't see the shine at the moment. And it's not massively shiny, it's not like a gel pen, but that sort of dulls the whole colour palette really. So when you swatch them out, you will see that they're a very different type of sort of muted colours really. You don't get a bright red, for example. It's more of a pink or an orangey colour, you know, or a brown. There's no sort of red, that sort of thing. You do get the orange is fairly bright actually, but you know, it varies. What we're going to do is we are going to mix colours for all of this page, just to show you how you can do it really, because I think it's a little more, I personally think it's a bit more tricky. So I'm going to start with the Amethyst, which is our very darkest purple tone. Here we go, Amethyst, and I'm going to use that on these three. Okay, so I'm going to use it for the very base and then fade it a bit. And we can fade it like we would with a regular pencil. You can see, so I'm really layering it up here. You can see it's very intense and thick. And then put less here, like that. So we can just use it like a regular pencil. And I might not actually combine two colours here. I think that might work. The thing I've noticed though is when you reflect the light and look at the shine, which is very difficult to show you, the thicker, more intense the colour, the more shiny it is. But I'm just looking and moving my head. There is a shine to the whole of the petal, so I think it's okay. If you want something really, really shiny, yes, your metallic gel pens are going to be much better. You can use something like glossy accents to add a shine afterwards. And there are certain oily marker pens which actually give a mirrored shine, which are quite impressive, but they I've got one, it's called a chrome marker or something, and it goes through the page. Even the silver, which you would think might not, it goes through the page. So, you know, everything has pros and cons, and I don't like using things that go through the page, even in a single-sided book, because it can look a bit nasty. But I know some single-side books have a black background to the pages so that you can do that without seeing it. But yeah, I don't have a lot of the alcohol mark. I'm just a bit scared of them, really. And I know some people like doing an alcohol marker base and then pencil on top, and it helps the hands because you haven't got to put down a really thick layer. You've already got a base coat there effectively, and I can see that that looks really good. It's just not quite what I am practiced in doing, really. And in books like this, which are double-sided, I wouldn't want to do that, you know. I mean, you could, and sort of ruin the page on the back. You'd want to put something behind, like I've got a piece of paper here, but I would want to put something waterproof behind just to be really sure. And you can ruin the page behind, then buy a second copy of the book. So just say do the right hand pages on one copy and the left hand pages on another, you know. And I can see how if you've got if you have a problem with your hands, you know, it would really be good. Or if you're, you know, that's fine. It's everyone has a different approach, and that's all the joy, isn't it? You know, I think that's part of it. We can all learn from each other and then find something that works for us. So I'm just shifting in my chair. My back is a bit sore. It's fine now. It's not like I've woken up with a sore back or anything. I was just sitting in a funny way. It's gone now. We just have to we just have to be mindful of our bodies when we are colouring, because it's very easy to sit for a very long time in the same position, and just have a little fidget every so often, and just make sure you're looking after your back, shoulders, hands, etc. It's good to get up as well if you can and have a little walk about, you know, just momentarily. You know, go and pick up a white gel pen from the shelf, or make a coffee, or, you know, that sort of thing, just to keep yourself moving a bit. It's quite hard in this weather. I find when it's cold, I feel like I don't want to move. I want to sit under a blanket and not move. But then if I move, I get warmer. So I need to remember that, you know. But oh, there's my doorbell. Hold on. I am back now. It was just a parcel of something I'd ordered. It was a new sheet for my bed. It's very exciting. I got my wrist warmers while I was away. Right, let us have a look. Now I'm thinking that these little circles, we could do, well, we could do them in a lighter colour. I often do them in black, but I'm thinking no. Let's do it a little bit differently. Let's use the iris purple. It's quite a light colour. I'm just looking for my sharpener. We'll try it with the lighter one. See how it looks. Here we go. Iris purple. Yeah, my fitted sheet on the bottom of my bed's getting really worn out. So spend too much time in bed. So anyway, I ordered a new one. It's supposed to be soft touch, so I'm quite excited to see what it's like. But I haven't opened, I just opened the parcel, I didn't open the sheet. I wanted to get back, colour my flowers. So although I say these are quite muted tones, I've picked a particularly vibrant violet there, but this one you can see is a bit lighter. There we go. I might put some white on there. I'm just checking. Some of these don't like white. Just put my swatch chart here. I've got, yeah, the magnetic mauve doesn't work with white. See, what I do on my swatch chart, I've put a little dot. It's oops, quite far away, but you see that's gone pink where it's bled. My friend Kylie in Australia is just trying out a new pen which apparently doesn't bleed into white, but I'm interested to see how well it works. I'm now going to use the Peacock Topaz. It's a really dark blue, and I am going to use it for these two. Three? Four. Maybe I'll do those two, maybe I'll pair up those two. I just do these two. So again, I'm going to do it a little bit darker near the centre. Yes, it's a Sakura pen, and it's designed for writing on glass, oddly, but she says she thinks it's much more free-flowing. She said her Sakura pens clog up. Might do a little bit, but all my pens do, so I guess it's just something I'm used to. And she says that it's bleed proof, so it won't go pink, but we'll see. Actually, I've got a new white that I'm testing, a Uniball white? Uniball Signo white. My husband got me one because he got himself one, and that one seems more free-flowing, but it was, and now it's not. So I think it was just because it was new. Newer pens are always better anyway, aren't they? So I'm not finding it. I wouldn't say it was any better than any other white pen that I've used. I've used some rubbish ones, but I can't remember the brand of the really bad one. I just picked it up in an art shop. I don't think it had a brand. I think it's just a cheap, rubbishy gel pen. Okay, some banging. My boys are both here today. They're supposed to be working. One isn't doing much yet. It's a bit early for him. And the other one is trying to do something. He wants to start his assignments nice and early so that he hasn't got like last minute stuff to do, which I think is a really good idea. But he's just designing, he's got to write a game, so he's sort of designing that. I think it's too complicated, but he says it has to be because it's uni work. It can't be too simple. So anyway, he knows more than me. Okay, so there we have our blue. I'm going to go for a pinky colour. We have the Garnet Lake. Oops. Here we go, Garnet Lake. So if you're colouring along without metallic, you can just use a blue and purple. Doesn't matter what you use. I'm going to do these three, I think. You know, just colour along with something you like. You can use a similar colour. This is quite a dark pink. I would say it's a red violet, really. Or in castles, if you're using regular castles, this would be like a dark purple, wouldn't it? I think. Trying to make it a little bit darker in the middle. It's not quite working. I'm going to show you how to darken the middle. Well, I think it's easy. I think probably you would know anyway, but anyway. But we'll just finish these first. So I'm finding that putting them down a bit more intense colour with this one, and it didn't really work that well with that either. Maybe we'll do it at the end. We'll do them all the petals as best I can, putting down a little bit more colour near the centre, and then I'll show you how to intensify that shadow after. Is that all of those? Yeah, I think that looks fairly similar, but we're doing a different colour. I am going to use a sort of, we've got mid blue, I think we need to use the orange. This orange is very bright, called the Dragon Orange. I think I do it for these two. They don't look identical, do they? I'll just do it for this one actually. And again, I'm going to try and fade it a bit. Oh, we've got another one in there. We get quite a lot of different colours. We could do another blue because that one's quite dark. We could do a lighter blue. And of course we've got our greens to do as well for our leaves. And something for the background. I'd sort of planned that out already in my head. But whether I stick with my plan or not, we'll find out, won't we? Now I do find that there's a lot of people who are disappointed in metallic pencils. I think there's a thought that they should look more like a metallic gel pen, but you can't get that with a pencil. And some people don't like the muted colours, and that's absolutely fair. And you know, not every pencil is going to appeal to everyone. I just happen to like them, but not because they're metallic, but because they're a different colour range. I hope that makes sense. Right, there's that one. Now our little tiny two here, I'd quite like to do in a lightish pink. Just seeing what we've got that's quite light. That's the Garnet Lake, isn't it? I think the Jasper Peach is probably the lightest we've got, in a sort of pinky-ish shade. I'm just going to try and use it quite delicately. Might do a little bit more down here. You can see it's fairly similar to this really. I'm just trying to keep it away from it so it doesn't, you can't see it looking too close in colour. There we go. And we've got these two, I'm going to do them differently to each other. The Sapphire blue is quite pretty, the crystal blue is quite grey. So this is the Peacock Topaz that we've used, and I'm thinking, do we use a different blue? Got those sort of ones to pick from. This one's beautiful. The greens I'm going to avoid for now. We could do a bronze, we could even do some other purples or pinks. I think I am going to use a sapphire. It's just such a pretty colour. I use it way too much, but it hasn't gone down that much, but I shall use it here. This one's a bit close to the blue there. But look how pretty that is. There we go. I don't know what to use for the last two. It's no good me asking you to tell me, because I would have done them by the time you see this video. I'll try and use, I don't think I've used a different one on every page. I think two of these are the same pencil and then all the rest are different, which is a bit annoying of me, but you know. Sorry. Let's have a think. I might use a bluey green. I think I'm going to use the Kelp green, if I can find it. Is that it? No. Maybe that's it. No. Whoops, my pencils are rolling oh, here it is. Because it's sort of bluey green. And then I'm going to do my leaves in a greeny green, because that makes sense. And flowers can be green. It's a nice colour, this. I think it just breaks it up a bit. Now, I will be doing a little bit of extra work on the petals, and then we'll probably think about the background. I've got a couple of ideas for the background. I'm thinking I might go Vegas yellow, really bright. But it's one of my favourites and it's getting a bit short. So, you know. Right, we're going to use our Mythos black to add some definition into all of our petals. So right in the centre here, where they're near that centre, I'm just going to add a little bit. Now you could do this and grab your original colour that you used and go back over it again, but I'm just going to add it now and leave it. I'm not going to blend it back over. I think this will work. I don't really know if you can see that much of a difference, but I can. But do it gently. You don't want huge amounts of black. Particularly if you're using a regular pencil, it'll be even stronger, the black, I should imagine. So be a bit careful if you're using black. You could use a different colour. So you could use like a Payne's grey, you know, a very dark grey, or a sepia if you've got like a browny blacky sepia rather than a red sepia. Don't want that. Yeah, the problem is the colours vary even with the same names. It can be irritating. My lead's wobbling. Right, let's push this page down better. It'll help my pencil. Just hoping it doesn't break. Now when you've got a lighter colour, you'll need to blend it out a little bit more, I think. And there is a few other dark colours in this set. There's a Typhoon Grey, which is quite dark as well, which you could use for this too if you didn't want to use black, or you wanted something slightly lighter, or your black runs out. I think my black is going to run out really quickly in this set. And of course you can't buy them open stock. I've asked Castle about it. It's always good to ask. Why not? If we get enough people asking, they might decide to do something about it. Right, for our greens, I'm going to use the olivey type colours, so they look different to this one, which actually looks very blue, to be honest. So this is called Envy. I'm just going to give it a sharpen. And I might not use it for all of the greenery, I don't know. I'm going to just start here. And as with the black, I said I was going to do the background next. Apparently I lied. I changed my mind. I'm going to do the green. Now you could keep all the green the same. I do that sometimes. And I am considering whether to do that now or not. But I might not. I've got, there's a sage as well, which is quite a olivey colour, although it's a bit brown. So I'm not sure. Have a think. So I hope you're all doing okay. I hope you're doing some colouring while you're watching. Well, some people don't, I know. Some people do. But I hope you've been doing a little bit at some point. I'm going to also use this for here, I think. Now, yeah, I'm going to grab this one. This is what I said, the sage. I can't speak. I'm going to go up here and do the sage. You can see it's quite a similar olivey, almost yellowy colour. I rather like this shade of green anyway, the olives, so it appeals to me. And there are bluey greens that are really vibrant in this set, which would probably match better actually with the blues and purples and things, but now I've gone for this sort of colour scheme, I'm thinking I might just stick with it. Those leaves look really similar to those, but I think I'm gonna go down here. Now I've got to commit to all those being this colour, I think, because these over here as well. There we go. Oh, I just noticed I missed one. There. That needs to be in the Envy. I like the name. I know some people get really annoyed when the names don't really reflect the colours, and I can understand that frustration. Here is our olive Verde. I'm going to sharpen. Verde is just French for green, isn't it? You can see it's quite yellowy, which is rather nice, I think. Again, I'm not too sure how well it goes with this flower, but hey. So that one, I'm going to do these. Sorry, I got my hand on top of the other pencils. It's not the best way to, most comfortable way to colour. Just lean on some pencils, you know. It's going to keep it really neat and tidy, isn't it? We're getting thirsty. I made a coffee before this and left it cooling next door. Right, we've got 2 left. This is that, isn't it? So I think I'm going to use the sage in the corner. I don't think it matters that much. They're not that different that it's really going to matter. Now you could, again, use a bit of your black on the edges of the petals to make them leaves, sorry, to make them stand out, but I don't think I need, I just wanted to do it on the petals to make the flowers look a bit more shapely, you know, like that sort of, the centres are down, a bit lower down. I'm going to use the sage for the orange flower. So I'm not going to use it on the leaves, but you certainly can if you think you want that little bit of extra depth. But I don't think there would be, I mean, there'd be a bit of shadow. There we go. Now our background, am I going to go for the yellow or a, yeah, I think it needs a yellow in the background, a bright. Now we have the Vegas yellow. Now because it's a metallic, it's not really bright, but compared to the other colours it is. This is a sort of almost a grass green. No, gold green. Green gold, sorry. I don't know what I'm saying. So if you're using regular castles, there's a green gold in there. Or even if you're using polychromos, there's a green gold. If you're using polychromos, I wouldn't know what to use for that. There isn't really a sort of turquoise like that. But anyway. So now I'm just filling in the back and looking for any missed bits, because I know what I'm like. Probably missed half of it and not noticed. But there we go. just yeah, just relaxing now, just blocking it in. Now you could make it darker around the flowers. I haven't done that on any of them. Some people like to do that, sort of do a bit of shadow. Can look amazing. I saw an amazing one picture the other. It was a yeah, it was the word January. Agatha Pop has put forward some. It's in her Etsy shop. A January tinies on shelves page, and someone had coloured in the word January, which is on it, and then all sorts of shadows and shading on it, and it was just wow. And it looked fantastic, but I need to study it and work out what they did and see if I can copy it a bit, but and learn. That's how I learn, rather than being overwhelmed by good art. It's easy to be. I am often, and then I have to pull myself together and say, right, what is it? What have they done? What can I do to make mine look a little bit like that? I know that realistically, unless I spend 3 years on one flower, I'm not going to get it looking like them, but I can do little tweaks and things here and there if I'm in the mood for it, to just change up something or other. I find with the metallics as well, they're quite nice for doing mandalas and those sorts of pages where you're just blocking in colour, because although you can shade them, as you can see here, I have, they're quite fun just laying down an even layer, which is obviously what I'm trying to do now with the yellow. Not very good at when there's lots of little details to colour around, it's quite tricky. And my pencil's a bit blunt, but I can feel the lead's a bit wobbly, so if I sharpen it's going to break. I do find the castles, you need a good sharpener, a good sharp sharpener. If your sharpeners are too blunt, they break. Some brands are a little bit more forgiving, but it's okay. I've got replacement blades. I think you can buy them. I'm sure I've seen that in America you can buy replacement blades. You can't in the UK. I think it can't be trusted. I think something like that anyway. But I think I am done. But I'm going to use some white pen because I think it needs to jump off the page a little bit. Well, that'd be a bit scary, having the flowers jumping off the page. Here you go. So I'm going to go around the... yes, I made them dark and now I'm going over them in light. It doesn't make sense, does it? But I think I'm going to just do in the middle of that one. Might do. We've got some black dots on the ends of these leaves, petals even. Just go over them in white. Here I'm going to go around there. I might go over those lines. My pen wants to write. There we go. Sometimes they need a bit of encouragement. And they are sort of gel paint, so it will dry in the sort of around the roller ball part, so you will have to scribble them to get them to work. There we go. Put a few dots, literally just 2 on each petal. I know Johanna's drawn lines and I'm doing dots, but yeah. Now here, now I'm going to move to this one because I can't decide what to do there. I'm just going to go around here. Now I've trapped myself in to move my hand around. I think I'm just going to go in the middle, see what that looks like. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Sorry, my page is moving. There we go. I think I am done. So thank you for watching. I hope that was okay for you. Yeah, hopefully that's given you a few little tips. Nothing too complicated. I'm not in the mood for complicated today. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hoping that you have a super day and happy colouring.